In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Superman Wonder Woman number 11 and Supergirl number 34, published by DC Comics. These are both part of the Superman Doomed storyline. We're getting near the end of that storyline, and these ones are kind of setting up the ending. These are particularly part of the Last Sun portion of Superman Doomed. Starting with Superman Wonder Woman number 11. This issue picked up right where Action Comics 34 left off. So Action Comics 34 introduced Mongol right at the end, coming out of the Phantom Zone. So this one we pick right up with Mongol. And at first it actually seemed like Mongol's going to kind of be this false alarm, because he comes out of the Phantom Zone, he sees Brainiac's attack on Earth, and he's actually kind of afraid. He won't admit it, but he's afraid to deal with Brainiac. So he actually heads back into the Phantom Zone. So it seemed like almost kind of a false alarm with Mongol coming on the scene. But then things kind of turn around at the end of the issue, so you definitely have to read through to the end of the issue. You'll see Mongol seems like he's going to have a pretty important part to play in the finale. In terms of the story, it's a pretty functional story. It seems like they're kind of trying to make sure everybody's aligned correctly, everybody gets where they need to be for the final issue, or for the final couple issues. So Martian Manhunter's there. He seems to have an important part to play because of the psychological attacks from Brainiac. And then Cyborg is there. He has a nice moment of selflessness that he kind of gives for the team. One thing though with Cyborg's scene, I thought the art was a little bit muddled because Cyborg really kind of blended in with the Brainiac fighters that he was dealing with. They all kind of looked very similar colors, so he didn't really stand out very well. Maybe that was part of the idea, I'm not sure. It seemed muddled to me. And overall, the art for this issue I thought was a bit distracting because it really didn't match with the previous issues in the Doomed storyline. I know they have different artists on the storyline, and that's all understandable, but this one really was kind of different enough that it was distracting to me. For instance, Mongol at the beginning. I mean, Mongol comes in the first page and just looked like almost a different character design from where Mongol was introduced in Action Comics. So that was a problem. Something good, though, I thought was the Coma storyline. So the Coma storyline has been important in Doomed, starting out right at the beginning with Smallville and then expanding to Metropolis and expanding further. All these people in comas across the country. And it's all been a mystery, really, this whole time. And in this issue, the storyline of the comas was pushed a little bit forward. I think it works pretty well as a plot device, and it does seem like it's going to be resolved, so that's a good sign. I was also really happy at the ending. Wonder Woman and Superman, they both make a key move at the end, and I thought that was nice since it's a Superman Wonder Woman book. And it was also interesting how their moves at the end were kind of parallel. They both sort of involved doing like a deal with the devil. So that was great, and I think it is really setting things up for an exciting conclusion, so I liked that about it. So overall, pretty good. Art, little bit off. Well, not off, just didn't quite match. But overall, I think this was a functional issue to set up the last couple instances. So that brings us to Supergirl number 34. This is the second to last entry in the Superman Doomed storyline. In this book, it really slows down the pace. Not a lot happens in terms of really moving the plot forward, but I think that was on purpose. By slowing it down, it lets us all catch our breath. It's just like a good musical album. It's kind of nice to have those slow songs in to set up the big kind of rockin' finales. It almost makes the finale seem more exciting if you kind of slow it down beforehand. So they slow it down. It has some heart to it. It develops Supergirl's character. I haven't actually been following the whole Supergirl book, but here I can tell they are trying to, really bring some emotions to the character, which I thought was nice. Mostly a character study of her and her interactions with this human character, Michael, who's introduced. So overall, I thought the relationship there with Michael was good to sort of show some humanity for Supergirl, a nice way to kind of slow down the pace. But I do think they took that relationship too far within one issue at the end. I think they kind of went a little bit too far, but you can see what you think about it. Overall, though, I think the issue puts a nice face on the threats that are currently facing Metropolis and the humans, puts some kind of reality behind it to make you really feel the danger. And then also, Tony Bedard, who wrote the issue, I thought he did a nice job of flashing back to some events from Doomed, reminding us what has happened, but showing it from a new perspective and seeing it from kind of Supergirl's angle. Nice way to recap, though. And Supergirl gets to do some nice hero work, along with the human first responders, so I thought that was good. The art here is Carl Moline, and I thought the art was pretty good. No serious complaints, although I do think it wasn't quite up to the top notch that we've been seeing in the other titles, especially like the Action Comics main books in this series. So a little bit of a step down, but I did like the color schemes. They had the green. You could sort of feel the green, which is representing the kryptonite threat in the atmosphere. And then they also had the kind of yellow color, which was representing the psychic threat from Brainiac and his kind of mind control stuff. The end of this issue, it hints of a pretty big showdown between Supergirl and Cyborg Superman. So I'm looking forward to that in the final installment. And Supergirl and Cyborg Superman have some history, which was in Supergirl issues 22 to 24. So that'll be nice for them to kind of come back face to face. So overall, I thought it was a good issue. A good job reminding us of what we've been through with this long doomed storyline, and it reminds us why we should care about it because of the threats to the humans. And it's a nice price. It's only $2.99, which I'm very happy when DC actually has some books that they keep at that $2.99 price. I appreciate that. So overall, nice job. I'm very excited for the last installment, which will be Superman Doomed #2. It was supposed to come out August 27th, I think, but they've pushed it back to like September 24th, so we've got a month to wait for the big conclusion. But Superman Wonder Woman 11, Supergirl #34, they both set up the last one pretty well, so I can wait the month. They've drawn me in enough where I can make it that month to see the final issue. So at that time, though, check back because I will have a review of the whole Doomed storyline, talking about the major themes and what it's revealed about Superman's character. So look for that. Thanks a lot.